of the most natural things in the world is a boy's love of competition. Almost from the cradle, boys everywhere have a strong and earnest desire to win, to be a champ. Long before Grandpa rode down the lane in the Surrey with the fringe on top, America has been on wheels. Yes, young America begins early. He almost cuts his teeth on wheels. As soon as he learns to use the hammer and saw, he is usually found building things, products of his own imagination. Scooters, skatemobiles, boats, airplanes, all sorts of things dear to the hearts of boys. He likes things that move. He likes motion. But usually great pride results in the creation of his own car. Recognizing that it's a boy's nature to create and compete, Chevrolet, together with leading newspapers and civic organizations, has provided a national program for boys only, the All-American Soapbox Derby, the greatest amateur racing event in the world. Throughout America, boys between 11 and 15 may enter the Derby. First, the boys and their fathers register with their local Chevrolet dealer. Here, they are given official rule books containing the national specifications regarding the construction of the racer. Regulations concerning height, weight, braking, and steering devices are included in the rule book for the purpose of safety and to ensure a fair race. But the design and construction of the car are left to the boy's ingenuity. And although his family and friends may advise, the boy must build his own car and build it all by himself. From coast to coast, tens of thousands of boys bring their completed racing cars for display and inspection prior to the local event. Powered only by gravity, these derby racing cars represent a tremendous amount of skill and effort. Months and months of diligent planning and careful construction have gone into the making of these unique vehicles. It doesn't cost the boy a cent to enter his car in the All-American Soapbox Derby, and national rules prevent any boys spending over $6 above the cost of the wheels and axles. Many boys spend even less. The All-American Soapbox Derby conforms to American tradition, equal opportunity for all, and may the best man win. Over 30,000 cars are built each year, and no two cars are alike. But that's typical of American boys. They all have their own ideas on how a soapbox racer should be built. Local races are conducted by a contest committee of civic-minded people from the boys' own community, under the careful guidance of the sponsoring newspaper. Thousands of men who are still boys at heart give liberally of their time handling the many duties at the racetrack. Car inspection is one of the most important features of a soapbox derby race. Finished cars are closely checked against specifications set up by the National Rules Committee, as defined in the rule book. Inspectors of local races employ many types of gauges for checking the height, weight, and length of the cars. But regardless of how they are measured, the cars must adhere to the rules. A slight miscalculation in stress and strain resulted in a rejection for this boy's car. He was shown how to correct it, however, and later qualified for his race. Good brakes are essential in soapbox derby cars. For the driver's own safety, he must have control of his car at all times. The weight of the car and the weight of the driver must be held within certain limits. In 1946, the car couldn't weigh more than 135 pounds, and this fellow was just under the wire. Now, however, the car may weigh up to 150 pounds. Boy and car together must not exceed 250 pounds. Prizes are given for best designed cars. Some of them are extremely well built. Soapbox derby cars are displayed in exhibits throughout the country. Automotive engineers keep a keen eye on the design trends as advanced by boy builders. Here's one with a removable hood, A bicycle wheel hub serves in the steering device. Streamlining is important to cut down wind resistance. A touch of airplane design in this steering mechanism. Pipe fittings for front axles. And here's an odd-shaped car designed along the lines of a speedboat on wheels. Little details get a lot of attention. Some scrap transparent plastic serves as a windbreak. For solid comfort, tennis balls resting on jar covers to absorb wheel shock. And those important wheels get extra special attention. Here, the boys are blowing dust from wheel bearings. The only blowout that can happen to this car. Service pits are available for drivers whose cars do not meet specifications and for last-minute servicing. Tools and parts and plenty of assistance are handy for a variety of repair jobs. The care given for final adjustments and checkups at these service pits closely resembles the activity just before the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway Classic. Steering mechanisms are rigidly inspected and adjusted. Brakes checked for safety. And even a special soapbox derby oil is supplied in some cities. Glistening metallic luster safety helmets bearing the Smart Soapbox Derby emblem are presented to every boy entering his car in the race. Races are covered thoroughly by the newspapers and local radio stations. Enthusiastic drivers are interviewed before the race to let the radio audience know why each one of them is quite sure of winning. Practically every city and town, from Maine to California, has a pre-race parade. Some are very colorful and elaborate. Every parade is a sincere dedication to the boy entrants in the All-American Soapbox Derby. Here are the drivers themselves, young America on parade, boys who are developing traits which lead to manliness. These boys have accepted the challenge of competition and fair play. Every local derby is opened in its own manner. Here, Governor Robert D. Blue of Iowa reminds the boys and the spectators true sportsmanship lies in the ability to be not only a modest winner, but also a sportsmanlike loser. Cars are pulled up the starting ramp by the assistant starter. This is happening in Detroit, Albany, Washington, Cleveland, San Diego, Roanoke, Denver, and 120 other cities and towns all over the United States. Starting ramps vary in design and construction, but every ramp provides an even start for the contestants. Ramps merely assist the start. The grade of the hill takes care of the rest. Thousands of spectators big and turn out to enjoy the excitement and thrills of the greatest amateur racing event in the world. Eager crowds anxiously press forward to watch and cheer their favorites. The boys climb into their cars, tense, eager to get started. The first heats of local races throughout the country are ready to roll. Officials indicate track and police check the crowd. All ready? Get set, they're off. All over the nation, thousands of boy drivers are racing their cars in All-American Soapbox Derby races. Every local race will produce a champion. Every local champion and his car will get a trip to the national finals at Akron, Ohio, with all expenses paid. Every champion in these local races will compete for the national championship. But first, he must win his local race. The competition is tough. All of the designing skill, the days of work in backyards, school workshops, basements, and garages in creating these cars, plus the personal driving ability of each contestant, is being put to the supreme test. Boisterous cheering crowds add to the excitement. Mobs of friends, relatives, and frenzied spectators throng beside the barricaded tracks, cling to trees, or pack the grandstands to capacity. This is Derby Day, and anything can happen in the excitement, and often does. As the cars of each heat cross the finish line, the winners are returned to the top of the hill to compete with other heat winners. By this process of elimination, one boy will be the local champ. It takes a lot of officials to conduct the race: judges at the finish line, registrars, clerks, starters, heat directors, inspectors, police, Boy Scouts, and all of the many men and women that help in its preparation. They all give freely of their time and effort for the great satisfaction of making possible this, the greatest of all boys' sporting events. Businessmen frequently sponsor cars at local races. However, the winner's car bears the name of a sponsoring newspaper at the national final. When a boy enters a soapbox derby race, he sets a goal for himself. He wants to cross the finish line first, and there is no question who is the winner, for every local race has accurate methods of determining the champion. In some communities, electric timing devices and photo finish equipment aid in judging close contests, while every race has a full staff of judges closely observing the outcome of each heat. Blue skies and warm sunshine are characteristic of Derby Day. Oh, we forgot to mention. A race may sometimes be interrupted by a slight dew. But it takes more than this to dampen the spirit of the spectators and the contestants. Seats get a quick turnover and are replaced in the grandstand. And the crowd quickly returns for more thrill-packed entertainment. Seldom do racers compete on a wet track. Here's that speedboat again in the center lane, or do we mean channel? It's proving itself on a wet track. The crowd has learned that there are always plenty of thrills and sensations at an all-American soapbox derby race. All safety precautions are taken at derby races, and most of them are accident-free. But cars do get out of control at times. Watch the driver in the center lane. The only car to cross the finish line backwards. Here's a young lad who thinks he's going to take it right back up the hill. Whoop! Watch it, buddy. He lost his hat and his dignity, but wasn't hurt a bit. Lost dogs, lost children, everything happens on Derby Day. Climaxing an afternoon of thrilling elimination heat, winners are returned to the hilltop for the final race. This is the moment that everyone has been waiting for. The winners of final races will become local champions and represent their community in the national races at Akron, Ohio. Champion of Albany. Champion of Cleveland. Champion of Washington. champion of Roanoke, champion of Detroit, the new local champ is king in his hometown. Mother and Dad are the first to congratulate the bewildered winner. He tells the radio audience it was a tough race. The champions will never forget the cheers from the crowd, the autographed fans, the questioning of newspaper reporters, and the flashing bulbs of press cameras. Nor will they forget the treasured Nicholas Drystat Trophy, which is presented to every local champion in the country. A reminder throughout his life that hard work and perseverance result in success. Prizes for heat winners: bicycles, footballs, softballs, flashlights, and other things treasured by boys. Gold, silver, and bronze medals for first, second, and third place winners. No boy loses by entering the All-American Soapbox Derby. In competing, every entrant expands his personality, his sense of honor, sincerity, sportsmanship, ingenuity, and fair play. Sponsoring newspapers and organizations send champions and their winning cars from every local race in the country to participate in the National All-American Soapbox Derby races at the famous Derby Downs, Akron, Ohio. The new champ and his parents are given a royal welcome upon their arrival at Akron. Led by an escort of motorcycle police, they arrive at the Mayflower Hotel in a special car. The champion and his sponsor register their arrival. They visit the All-American Soapbox Derby headquarters in the Mayflower Hotel and are greeted by Myron E. Scott, originator of the Soapbox Derby. Scott introduces the champion and his sponsor to C.J. French of Chevrolet, the organization which plays host to all the champs during their stay in Akron. The Derby is a big event. Over 130 newspapers and national magazines provide complete coverage for the greatest amateur racing event in the world. The national headquarters press room is a beehive of activity. Western Union installs special wires to handle the Derby story. Champions from every local race in the nation are here in Derbytown. Snappily attired page boys usher the newly arrived champs to their own private club room. Spacious lounges in the city's leading hotels are set aside for champions only. Games of all types, soft drinks, sodas, and ice cream are theirs at a command. Nothing is too good for a champ. The food is good and the food is plentiful. Excitement does not dull the champion's appetite. Surrounded by everything that a boy likes best, it's tough being too close to the maximum racing weight. Birthdays are not forgotten, even though far from home. It's 3 full days of glory, glamour, and excitement for the Soapbox Derby champions. Singing, music, and entertainment by outstanding juvenile vaudeville performers, musicians, and magicians. Every boy has a wonderful time. Mr. Harvey Firestone entertains the champs at a swimming party. Swimming champions give demonstrations of diving techniques. The right and wrong way to become a champion in water. While While the boys are working up an appetite, chefs are preparing a chicken dinner the champions will never forget. The chicken met its match at the banquet given in honor of the champions at a smart country club. This ends the round of entertainment enjoyed by the champs during their two-day holiday before the race. Tomorrow is Derby Day. Tomorrow, one of these boys will be the new national champion. Derby Downs, the most efficient and beautiful racetrack of its kind in the world. This spectacular track accommodates 100,000 spectators and was built especially for the All-American Soapbox Derby. On topside, the elaborate Derby Downs repair pits are built and operated by the B.F. Goodrich Company. Cars are stored here after the boys make their test runs and last-minute touch-ups. Here, the National Contest Board checks and rechecks every car against rule book specifications. They also make certain no car has previously won a national championship. Neither the car nor the boy may twice compete for national honors. The cars for the first 20 heats are lined up and carefully guarded. This is the day of the national finals. Today, we will have a new national champion. The grandstands have been filling since early morning. Families arrive and make a day of it. Over 100,000 men and women and children jam into Derby Downs to witness the greatest amateur racing event in the world. The colorful 45-minute pre-race parade streams through the decorated archway at the top of the hill. This is a magnificent parade, second in entertainment only to the race itself. The special Soapbox Derby float, carrying former world victors, is followed by the champions. Each champion is in full racing costume, regulation racing helmets and shirts, and each carries an official Derby flag inscribed with the name of his hometown. Boy Scouts carrying hundreds of flags parade under the triple-deck bridge spanning the All-American Soapbox Derby finish line. Radio men on a national hookup, cameramen from all major newsreels ready to record this race for the national championship. Last-minute instructions are given. The crowd moves tensely to the edge of their seats, and they're off. Every 90 seconds, the shining homemade racing cars start down the track. Every 90 seconds, a new heat winner. This crowd is so big that thousands of disappointed people who came to see this great annual sports classic were turned away. There isn't even standing room left at this unique racing plant. The winner of each heat is returned to the hilltop to race with other heat winners, much in the fashion of the local races. The eyes of a newsreel camera show the speed of these Derby cars. Cannas bordering the track are timed to bloom on race day, giving a colorful effect to the finish line area. At the finish line, heat timing is recorded in split seconds by a photoelectric eye system. When the leading car breaks the beam, this timing device automatically records the exact speed in hundredths of seconds. Many of the heats are so close that the judges call for a photo finish to determine the winner. Derby Day is packed with activity. Everything is timed to a split second. The handling of crowds, the parade, lining up cars for the heat, returning cars to the hilltop, all types of work supervised and performed by officials and their assistants, many of them with years of Derby experience. And now the nationwide radio networks pick up the final race. First to be interviewed is Gilbert Clecan of San Diego. Then James Haney from Beloit, Wisconsin, and Richard Zoller, Cleveland, Ohio. Bill Downs of CBS broadcasts the race. The boys are tense and excited as they climb into their small cars. One of these three boys racing in the final heat will be the national champion. They're getting ready. The seconds tick off. There they go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the supreme moment in the lives of these boys. It is the highlight of the National Derby race. The crowd breaks the police lines and barricades. They wildly attempt to follow the cars down the track. The car in lane 2 is ahead. Lane 1 falls back. Lane 2 and 3 are neck and neck. The car in lane 2 is gaining, and he is the winner. It's Gilbert Clecan of San Diego, California. Cheering, enthusiastic, milling spectators are held back as the new All-American Soapbox Derby national champion is photographed, interviewed, and speaks over the national network. Sister, mother, and father are as excited and thrilled as the newly crowned champion. Nicholas Drystad, Chevrolet General Manager, extends his congratulations and presents the national trophy to the winner for newspaper and newsreel pictures. The banquet of champions, with the boys seated at the largest speaker's table in the world. Fathers, mothers, and friends are here to witness the awards and enjoy the entertainment. Every entrant receives a diploma and a beautiful wristwatch. Special trophies are awarded for the best designed car, the best brakes, the best upholstered car, and for the fastest heat in the race. These awards are presented by Mr. C.J. French, advertising manager of Chevrolet. Now for awards to the boys who really made it tough for the national champion. Harold Hayes, Durham, North Carolina, 4th place winner. James Haney, Beloit, Wisconsin, 3rd place, accepts his glistening trophy. Richard Zoller, Cleveland, Ohio, 2nd place winner, received his awards from Mr. T.H. Keating, Chevrolet General Sales Manager. In addition to his trophy, young Zoller receives a beautiful new Chevrolet sedan. "14-year-old Gilbert Clecan of San Diego, the new national champion. He received many trophies and is also awarded the 4-year college scholarship to any school of his choice by Mr. Keating. Yes, here he is, champion of champions. He won the race, and the hearts of the crowd and his fellow champions. For Gilbert Clecan is a grand example of American boyhood at its best. In the All-American Soapbox Derby, all boys gain something equally important: knowledge and experience. They learn self-reliance and the value of sportsmanship, of good, clean fun. They and thousands of other boys will have equal opportunities to participate in the next and greatest amateur racing event in the world, the 10th anniversary year of the All-American Soapbox Derby.